Please share a decision that truly changed your life.
As an academic, I of course always kind of go, do we really make decisions? To which degree are the decisions we make truly ones we can kind of point to and go, I did that? So I know two things, for instance, two things that have definitely changed my life, and where there was a decision element involved, but where it's difficult to know whether that was sort of my decision. And so the first one is, I became a father when I was very young. I was 23 years of age when I had my first child. Now, he wasn't completely an accident. He was a wanted child. He was a delightful child. I'm very happy we had him. But he wasn't quite planned either. I got to know that his mother could not bear children, or if she could, it would take a very long time. And we were told that if we ever wanted to have children, we should stop with using protection, and we should start kind of thinking about getting children. So we said, okay, well, if it's going to take years anyway, we might as well kind of skip this and start doing it. And 3 weeks later, my then girlfriend was pregnant. Now, was this a decision? On one hand, it was. Obviously, I know how children are made. It wasn't completely a fluke. I knew what I was getting into. On the other hand, I was promised it would take years before this could happen. And I look back at that and kind of go, yes, of course I have to take responsibility that it was a decision, and I have. And he's a delightful 29-year-old man who now lives in Dublin and works for Facebook. But still, I kind of think, was that really a decision, or was that just something that happened to me? Another thing, which might relate more to what you're doing, I had these two master students, two very young, very smart students. They did lovely things and wrote a very, very nerdy master's thesis for me when I was at the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm, Sweden. And I thought, these guys will never really manage out in the big, bright world. They should be protected as the delightful little academics they are. So I offered them a PhD positions, that they could become academics, do a PhD and so on. And they said no. They want to go to Berlin. They want to go to Berlin and do this startup, which was a really weird thing about sounds and commenting on sounds. And sounded more like a YouTube plugin than anything else. And I said, no, I'm sorry. My last divorce was so expensive. I really don't have the money. And they were very friendly. I said, okay, fine. You could have invested. You chose not to, but we're still going to do it. And they went off and they founded SoundCloud, which at one point was worth almost $800 million, which means, since I had a chance to be one of the first investors, I can't count to the number of millions of dollars I failed to gain from that one singular decision of not believing in them. But again, my life philosophy has always been, you do what you do. You make your decisions, you live by them. And I have made many good decisions. I made the decisions to see in academia when everyone said, oh my God, you could go out and become a consultant. I've done very well for myself. It hasn't been 100 keynotes, as you said, it's been 1,000. I've managed to travel the world and have loads of fun, so I'm super happy. I decided not to kind of throw myself into consulting. On the other hand, SoundCloud isn't the only startup I missed out on. I have students who have created almost unicorns, and I didn't believe them. They went on their merry way, and I stand there going, well, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. For me, the most important things when it comes to decisions is not that there would be this magical toy with which we could make the best decision or kind of, it's to live with them, to live and learn, to kind of understand that decision is a multiplex and our lives are a kind of long chain of decisions.
Thanks for sharing. Really, really impressive. Thank you. So, and our next question is, what advice would you give to someone facing a big life-changing decision right now?
And I do this quite often because I work with CEOs, and I obviously work with young students as well. I always encourage people to take the biggest risk they can live with. That is, it's so easy to do the safe stuff, the stuff that doesn't carry risk with it. It's so easy to just do what history or your parents or everyone says this is what you really should do. I'm a big believer in that, particularly the young, but also the somewhat less young, should explore all the possibilities and all the potential in the world. When my son told me he's thinking about whether should he study in his hometown, where he knew everyone and knew everyone at the school he was going to because they were my colleagues, or should he go to a city that he only been to a couple of times but really, really liked. And I said, well, obviously you should leave. No, never stay in the same place if you can have a chance to do something fantastic someplace else. I had a student come to me and say, oh, I have this decision I need to make. Should I go to Korea, where I have a chance to explore and kind of study this new world, and I have a chance to go there now. But if I do that, I'll miss out on your course in advanced organizational theory. I said, well, this is very easy. If you choose my course above the chance to go to Korea, South Korea in this case,
Exactly.
I'll fail you. I'll fail you. You will not pass my course. If you turn up at the course, you will be failed the moment you walk into the room. I'll make your decision for you. Send me a card from Korea. And he looked at me and said, would you do that? Would you fail me if I didn't go? Yes, I would, because you would be an idiot not to go. And he said, okay, thank you. This makes things very easy. And I met him a couple of years later, and he said, I just want to thank you. I think I may have stayed in Finland if you hadn't threatened to fail me in the course if I didn't go. He met his wife there. He became the head of one of Korea's biggest, richest families' family office. He's built a huge business for himself. I always say, take the risk, particularly if you're young, particularly if you don't have kids. When you come to the point where you have kids and a mortgage and other things, you will never take the same risks, never take the same chances. So take them when you can. And with CEOs, I kind of point to them, you get paid to take risks. You don't get paid that money to play it safe. If you get paid that money and you only do what the data tells you, what experience tells you, you have not earned that money. The AI could do that. Heck, an Excel sheet could do that. You're there to do the difficult things. You're there to do the kind of things that an AI wouldn't dare. And if you can't live up to that, you should resign. They don't always like to hear that. Sometimes they get very cross with me, but I'm not there to tell them things they want to hear. I'm there to tell them things they need to hear.
Thank you so much. Very impressive. So
I don't know if it's impressive. I think what happens is that it gets so obvious that we play it safe. Get the car, get the apartment, do what everyone else does, invest in the same things everyone else invests in, that we forget just how much possibility there is in the world, just how much broad potential we have, CEOs and students alike.
thanks for sharing that. Yeah, based on your books, we prepare some votes in the Crowch system. Crowch is a decision-making engine. And our Crowch question is, when facing big change, what's your favorite survival strategy? You will choose stick to the facts or at the tribe.
Here, it's very easy. It's ask the tribe. If it's a big enough change, the facts will not ever be fully known, and there are things that make you sometimes impervious even to the best facts. So ask the tribe, get your best kind of contrarian friends to talk about it with you. Yeah. definitely.
4% agrees with you. So,
Mhm.
put on a new mask, just reinvent yourself to fit the moment, or again, ask the tribe.
I'm going to stick with us, the tribe, because put on a mask can sometimes be a good thing. But in the long game of life, we get furthest by being our true, authentic selves. You can only get a little bit further with putting on a new mask. And yeah, it can sometimes help you get in the club, but it will never help you get the date. So ask the tribe. I'm going to stick with that.
53% agrees with you. So, adapt and grow, or ask the tribe.
At some point, you have to stop asking questions. At some points, you have to stop kind of guessing. You just have to start doing, which in this case would be adapt and grow. It sort of leads back to what I told you about getting a kid when you're 23. I wasn't ready, but the good thing about children when they turn up in your life, there is no question. You have to adapt. You have to grow.
Adapt and grow, or follow your instinct.
I'm going to say adapt and grow again, because following instinct, it's taken me wrong many a time.
Ride the shark of innovation and ride the shark of change. Just catch and ride, or adapt and grow.
I'm going to go, even though I think it's slightly cheesy kind of way to put it, with ride the shark. Again, at some point, you need to take that big risk.
Yeah, big risk and ride the shark. Run a small experience just to test the water before diving in, going step by step, or ride the shark.
This is a complicated question because most people aren't great at doing experiments. Experiments are much more difficult than you think. And the small experiments rarely tell you all that much. So I'm going to go ride the shark again. I've hitched myself to the shark now.
Go all in, which means take massive bold action and now looking back, just go forward. And so, ride the shark.
These seem to be very similar. So since riding the shark still means taking big action, I'm going to stick with the shark here.
Destroy the comfort pillars or ride the shark.
You might think because I'm a professor of innovation, I work with disruption, that I'm against comfort. Some comfort is really good. Often I have to tell startup entrepreneurs who think it's all about kind of out hustling everyone. No, sleep is really good. Taking a break is really good. Having a good partner and taking him or her out for a date is really important. So I'm sticking with ride the shark. Some pillows you definitely need.
The final. Think creatively or ride the shark.
Again, these to me are much the same thing, but I wouldn't be the person I am if I didn't end by saying think creatively. Maybe you're riding the wrong shark. Maybe there's a second shark next to you should be on instead. So think creatively.
Yeah, they're really similar. Let's have a look to our statistics. What our audience choose now. So first is about stick to the facts. Then go all in. And the third place is follow your instinct. Run a small experiment at the tribe and think creatively. Our winner is think creatively. And 8%, maybe 9%, agree with us.
Well, I'm happy with that. I think that if I agreed with what everyone else says, that would be terrible. So I'm very happy to disagree with as many people as humanly possible.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Next vote is about disruption and care. And what's your best strategy to stay ahead? Disruption is really here in our world. And so first, take risks before others do, and or reinvent yourself constantly.
This one's easy. Take risks before others do, simply because reinventing yourself constantly can never be a long-term strategy.
Yeah, 51%. Take risks or build new skills quickly.
Again, take risks before others do. New skills, great, fantastic. You should be doing that anyway. But if you put too much energy into new skills, you might be missing out on how the world is changing.
Thank you. Take risks. 60%. And take risks or trust the experience.
Gonna be boring and say take risks again. Experience can be good. There are experiences that taught me a lot. But you should never trust experience. Experience is just your personal, very little window into the world. There are far more things that can ever be captured in your individual, localized experience.
Yeah. Again, take risks before others do, or think creatively, break the rules, design new paths.
It's sort of, I would like to kind of stick to take risks just to kind of keep to a line here, but I'm going to obviously go think creatively because this is my bread and butter. So I've taken so many risks, so now it's time to rethink things.
So, move faster than competitors or think creatively.
This was easy. McDonald's was the third or the fourth to do what they did, franchising burger chains. They were actually slower than most of their competitors, and they didn't start moving fast until they really knew what they were doing. So think creatively. Moving faster is just stupid if you don't know what you're doing.
58% agree. Learn faster than others or think creatively.
I'm going to stick with think creatively simply because you could learn a lot. For instance, I know people who know some 7 or 8 programming languages, most of which are never used anymore. They've learned very quickly, but much of their learning has become obsolete or at most an interesting thing. So I'm going to stick with think creatively here.
45% agree with us. Connect with global trends or think creatively.
As somebody who's worked with trends for the last 20 years, I know how difficult it is to connect with them and how often we make mistakes. So if these are the two choices, I'm going to stick with think creatively.
Partner with innovators or think creatively.
I'm going to interpret this a little. If the question is, should you just stay with your own knowledge, your own creative mind, your own insight, or partner up with, well, just about anyone, then partnering up is always a good thing. You should always have people around you who think differently or are prepared to challenge you. So partner with innovators. Also, it's a nice picture.
Thank you. Partner with innovators or spot opportunities in chaos.
I'm going to stick again with partner with innovators. The opportunities will make themselves known as long as you keep taking those risks, thinking creatively, and having good people around you.
Yeah. So we are on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. And what about our audience? They prefer to learn faster than others. Take risks is our is our choice also in a lot of votes. Think creatively. Yes, build new skills quickly. Reinvent yourself constantly and partner with innovators. It's our choice. The question is about creativity. Do you think AI will make people more creative or more lazy?
Both. That is, I mean, it's very easy to become lazy by using AI, and we know that some of the kind of data that's coming in now shows that people who use ChatGPT a lot are becoming a little lazy in their thinking. But I don't think that we should kind of judge AI too harshly at this point. I think that a lot of smart people are starting to realize how to balance using AI for creative inputs as a sounding board, as a very smart way to learn quickly about things, and still retain your own creative mind. So I'm still an optimist when it comes to AI, but can it make people stupid and lazy? Absolutely, but everything can. So can vodka, and we've lived with vodka for a very long time. So I'm going to say it's going to, in the long run, we will benefit from it, even in creative work.
Okay, but if everyone uses the same AI tools, how we can still create something unique?
I think the problem is that we believe that creating something unique is something you do very quickly, like at the click of a button. You get a perfect idea, you realize the idea, then it's there. But that's not how things work. I mean, as you know from startups, or possibly also from the world of art, you get an idea, just try to realize it. You realize it's much harder than you thought it was. You pivot a little, you try out something new, you work hard at it, you make it finer, make it better, you try to make it excellent, and then realize, oh shit, this didn't work either. You pivot again. This is how creativity works, and this is how startup entrepreneurship works. AI will answer anything at any time. It will just give you answers. The interesting thing is not the answers, it's the process of constant questioning, of asking, is this good enough? Can we make this even better? Can we rethink this? Maybe we should think about this in another context with other users. That's how we create creative excellence, and that's not something AI is very good at. AIs are good at giving a direct answer to a direct question. We humans are good at keeping questions alive and keep asking them. And in that sense, the best startup entrepreneurs I've seen have always been able to do things that AI never could, because they are never happy enough. They don't ever think that something is good enough. They keep advancing, keep adding stuff or taking stuff away. They keep working on the UX, working on the design. They never cease kind of questioning their own work. AI doesn't do that. AI is perfectly fine with, okay, I answered your question, I'll go back to sleep now. Startup entrepreneurs will wake up in the middle of the night with new questions, new drama, new ideas, new possibilities. So in that sense, no. It's the same as asking, well, we all use the same hammers. Surely all our houses will look alike. They don't. We have the same tools for building houses, sure, but they can be made to look in a million, billion, gazillion different ways. And on the contrary, I think that AI will be able to help many more of us realize their ideas and bring more kind of creativity into this strange business we call life. So in that sense, I'm not the least worried that AI would kill creativity. AI isn't that powerful. AI isn't that strong.
Thank you. So, based on your books, you celebrate heretics. And can AI ever act like heretic, or will it always be a servant?
It's a really good question, and a really complicated one, because true heretic really only comes through conversion. It comes through faith. I mean, a true heretic has believed in something, has had a revelation, a Damascene moment, and realized, no, we need to do something different. And I don't think at current AIs are completely unable to do that. They don't have faith. They can't have heretical moments. They don't understand the complexities of thinking demanded in true heresy. Could they one day be as so advanced? Possibly, but I think both you and I will be quite old when that happens. So I think the heretic notion, the notion of railing against what everyone believes to be true and proper, that's going to be a human capacity and a human knowledge set for very, very long time. But computers can be, or AIs in this case, can be really good help for a heretic. They can help sharpen our arguments for heresy. They can help us kind of push our challenges into new spheres. So in that sense, I believe that the AI can be the heretic's best friend, because it can help the heretic see where their arguments are lacking and push towards ever greater heresies. So there is not a kind of clear-cut answer here. But if you ask me today, can a modern AI model become a heretic? No, only a human can. Only a human can have the vision and the desire for true heresy.
Really impressive answer. It's really interesting because my 6-year-old daughter previously asked mother and father. Now she asks ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And she can possibly ask questions from ChatGPT she wouldn't think of asking mother and father. And we need only to kind of remember that we also need to be part of our children's explorations here. So I sit with my 12-year-old and talk about what it means to ask ChatGPT and what we need to remember when engaging with these technologies.
Yeah. Let's pass the next Crowch vote.
Okay.
How will humans make decisions in 2035? It will be data-driven predictions or bold visionaries leading the way.
In about 10 years, I think we will actually more towards data-driven predictions. That is, at that point, we may actually have developed data sets that are interesting enough to make possible very good data-driven prediction. We don't have that today. Our data sets aren't as nearly as mature as most people think. So I'm going to go with data-driven predictions. Simply because that might be the time when those will be a strong potential, a strong possibility.
51% agree with us. Data-driven predictions or identify and belief systems.
These don't seem like either or, but no, or something both and. I mean, obviously, identity and belief system will always drive our decision making. They'll always be in the background there. But I think to choose between these, I think we'll become more data driven still. So I'm going to stick with data driven.
Data-driven, or maybe it will be all very gamified simulations.
Even though I like the notion of gamified simulations and the likes, I don't think that they're going to be as big as some people think. We often just need the base data and then live testing. So I'm going to go with data-driven predictions here still.
The quantity is growing up. Data-driven predictions or trust networks and communities.
Human beings aren't very good at trusting other people. And we're not necessarily that big on communities, even though we think we are. I mean, if you look at the communities online, they often become very, not necessarily toxic, but very argumentative. So I'm going to stick with data-driven predictions here.
Data-driven predictions or collective voting and polls.
collective voting and polls can be very powerful. We know from for instance the last presidential elections in the US and like how powerful they can be. But since they are actually only a part of data-driven predictions, in my way of thinking, I always again stick with data-driven predictions. Also to see whether I can do a full run with just one choice.
Yeah. Data-driven predictions or AI algorithms deciding for us?
I don't think 10 years is enough for us to trust AI that far. I wouldn't trust AI to pick my dinner at the moment, so that I would trust it to do big decisions in 10 years seems unlikely. Data-driven predictions.
Data-driven or neural tech?
The neural tech is a really interesting technology, and I'm not doubting that there might be use cases for it in 10 years, but no, data-driven predictions, we're going to stick with that. That's it's something we're comfortable with, and the technology actually is far more mature there.
64. Data-driven predictions, or maybe it will be hybrid solution, human and AI.
This is a tricky one, because I mean they look very much like the same one, but just so as not just be boring and go with the same one all through, I'm gonna pick hybrid, shared intelligence, blending both worlds, since data-driven prediction actually fits into that.
And the last one, about intuition and instinct and hybrid human AI, just emotional and logic.
I think hybrid, because it's human beings can do a lot of things with intuition and instinct, but we should do everything with it. It's very clear that sometimes our instincts are wrong, sometimes the intuition messes up. Hybrid decision making with an AI support is far more trustworthy than pure intuition and instinct.
And now we are on the second place. So a lot of people choose data-driven predictions. Our audience, Gen Z and other people, they are data-driven. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The world became data-driven. Hybrid, human and AI, it's also our choice. Then a lot of people believe in AI and AI ability to decide something. Okay. Visionaries. It's my previous point, because I believe both visionaries will be forever and they will lead. Identity.
I'm sure.
Identity, trust networks and communities, and last place, gamified simulation. Okay. So, about influence. Our next poll and our next vote is about who is the most influential business leader? Steve Jobs or Elon Musk?
Steve Jobs by a country mile.
Exactly. Steve Jobs or Jeff Bezos?
Actually, I think Jeff Bezos is in a very real way more interesting, but if it's pure influential we're looking for, it's going to be Steve Jobs here.
Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey?
I have a lot of time for Oprah, and I think she's done really interesting things, but her kind of influence is still local in the US. She doesn't have the kind of global kind of influence that Steve Jobs waved. So Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs or Satoshi Nakamoto, a person who invented Bitcoin?
simply because only kind of crypto bros and a few researchers even know the story of Satoshi, who might not even be one person, it could be several people. And the influence is not that big, simply because Bitcoin became famous despite Satoshi, not due to him. So Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Steve Jobs or Jack Ma?
I think Jack Ma has shown to be a fine executive and a business leader, but doesn't really have a vision that Steve had. So we're going to stick with Steve here.
Steve or Larry Page?
Same as before. Larry Page is, of course, a great visionary in his own right, but well, you might say that the ad-based kind of model is very much Larry Page's baby and child, and his early work in algorithms is actually quite interesting. I mean, one has to remember how algorithm-driven Google was early on. But I'm going to stick with Steve Jobs because that's not widely known.
71% agree with us. Steve Jobs or Bill Gates?
Okay, thankfully you have put the time span 1990 to 2020. I believe in my heart of hearts that Bill Gates may become more influential than Steve Jobs, not least due to his philanthropic endeavors. Right now, Steve Jobs is more influential, but Bill Gates may take that crown over time, but not if you're looking at 1990 to 2020.
Okay. Steve, 70%. Steve Jobs or PepsiCo in Illinois?
Illinois is a very, very nice example of a human top executive. I have a lot of time for Illinois, but no, she's not influential on the same level as Steve Jobs has been.
Final vote, Steve Jobs or Warren Buffett?
Interesting question. I mean, Warren Buffett obviously is very respected and has pushed value-based investing, but he has made a lot of money and has had some kind of influence on how finance is done. But no, he has not had the same overall big influential effect Steve Jobs has. So I'm going to stick with Steve.
Yeah. %34% agree with us, and Steve is absolutely leader for sure. And then Elon Musk with Tesla and SpaceX. Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's speak about cultural aspects which Gen Z value most at work. It is really interesting to know the difference between generations. Gen Z, Gen X, and Gen Y, they're really different. A lot of people say that Gen Z looks like they're not crazy about work. They prefer a lifetime balance. They prefer a lot of things. They prefer just mentoring and coaching. They don't like direct management, and I don't know about what they mean on strong leadership, what strong leadership means for them. And so let's text about cultural aspects which does Gen Z value most at work. First, how do you think? I'm pretty sure you spent a lot of time with Gen Z students, and it is interesting to know mental health supportive norms of flexible work quality plus coaching.
These both are, of course, important for Gen Z, but I would say that the majority of Gen Z flexible work is what they really are interested in. They appreciate mental health supportive norm, but the people who see that as a deal breaker is still minority. Then I'm not sure that many of them are really that fussed about quality coaching, but they care about flexible work. That much I know.
inclusive meetings or still flexible work?
I think if you don't pick flexible work over any kinds of meetings, you're a bit of an idiot. So yes, inclusive meetings are better than non-inclusive one, obviously. But the great problem in modern organization is too many meetings. So flexible work, definitely.
Yeah. Flexible work or mentorship with real sponsorship, guidance and advocacy and support and a lot of opportunities to grow.
I'm going to say flexible work still. It's mentorship, delightful if it works, but most people will still see that as an add-on, whereas flexible work is non-negotiable.
Yeah, flexible work is absolutely core aspect. Yes, 50%. Okay. Transparent decisions and open documents and absolutely transparency of flexible work plus quality coaching.
I think it's flexible work. Absolute transparency. Most students aren't that keen to have absolute transparency regarding their own work. So I often have to work with getting them to show me their work. So I'm not sure that they're that thrilled to have everyone see it. So flexible work is going to win here.
55% agree with us. Frequent two-way feedback of flexible work.
I think Gen Z appreciates both, but if they would have to choose between autonomy and lots of feedback, they're going to pick autonomy. That's the big non-negotiable. And again, frequent two-way feedback is an add-on, so I'm going to go flexible work here.
Skills first growth and mobility of flexible work.
A lot of students would, of course, appreciate skills first growth and appreciate mobility. But again, and I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, I do believe that they will start from looking, can I design my own work? Can I design my own work culture? So flexible work is going to be the winner still.
Yeah. Flexible work or responsible and ethical AI use.
If you'd asked me in 5 years, I think that the chances that AI use would be a stronger candidate would increase quite a lot. Right now, it's the flexible work that Gen Z would be looking for, and the AI question is secondary.
Experiment first and learn fast culture of flexible work.
Again, do Gen Z appreciate an experiment first, learn fast mindset? Yes, they do. But if they have to have that, but be forced to come to the office 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and never kind of relenting on that, they're going to say no thank you. So flexible work wins. There is no doubt in my mind.
Yes, and we're on the first place now. Flexible work, it's a core. Yes, it's core choice. And mental health, exactly, the second place. Mentorship, the third. And then about inclusivity and equity culture and skill first growth. And then experiment first about AI. And the last one, it's two-way feedback. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice to have, not need to have.
Yeah. About soft skills for Gen Z also, because we are speaking about 2030. So, soft skills that will matter by 2030. What it could be? It will be empathy and active listening or creative thinking.
It's going to be creative thinking. We are looking now at a shift in leadership where we are much more kind of appreciative of neurodiversity. where not everyone works the same way and not everyone listens or even empaths the same way. So creative thinking, definitely.
System thinking or creative thinking?
System thinking sounds nice, doesn't it? But the problem is it can become a trap as well. So creative thinking over systems thinking every time.
Inclusive communication or creative thinking?
By 2030, our AIs will become very good at helping us to work with inclusive communication, but they still will not have cracked the full code of creativity. So creative thinking wins.
Resilience, flexibility, and agility or creative thinking?
Well, the problem, of course, now is that I would say that resilience, flexibility, and agility are part of creative thinking. But since I kind of stuck with creative thinking, I'm going to stay there. Creative thinking. Resilience is nice, but sometimes other things outweigh it.
Okay. Leadership and social influence or creative thinking?
To me, again, separating the two is very difficult. But if I had to choose, definitely creative thinking. Leadership will, and in social influence will come to the creatives.
Creative thinking.
Yes.
54% agree. Conflict navigation or creative thinking?
Both important, obviously, but if one has to pick one, creative thinking, because it will also help you with conflict navigation.
Yeah. Coaching and talent development or creative thinking?
Coaching is very important. I've worked quite a lot with talent development, but not everyone needs to do this. Not even every leader. So, but every leader will demand a creative mind. Will need to have a creative mind. So creative thinking wins.
Great question. Analytical thinking or creative thinking?
Here comes, and I could talk for an hour about this quite easily. People think that these two are in opposition to each other, but they're not. It's a mistake to think that analytical thinking, creative thinking are opposites. They're not. They are rather kind of co-constitutive. But of these, particularly in 2030, creative thinking will be the more powerful one.
Yeah. Curiosity and lifelong learning or creative thinking?
Again, are these opposite? Are these, because curiosity is the main element of creative thinking, and creative thinking will lead you to lifelong learning. So sticking with creative thinking, I've picked a lane, I'm sticking in it.
Empathy and active listening is winner. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Empathy. Yeah. I also agree because in the age of AI, in the age of machines, in the age of data analytical and logical core of all communication, the empathy is really important. And so creative thinking, then analytical skills, of course, then curiosity and lifelong learning, 10%, it's a very good numbers, conflict navigation, then system thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership. I really impressed because only 6% choose this option. Okay, and inclusive communication. Thanks for your answers. And the last one is about hard skills. So also hard skills that will be meta by 2030. It will be AI and big data or cybersecurity.
AI big data will be far more important generally. Cybersecurity is a specialization and will become more specialized.
Yeah. AI and big data. AI and big data or data analysis and visualization.
Again, I mean, I'm assuming data analysis is also included in AI and big data, so I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. AI and big data or automation and robotics?
Automation and robotics is making great strides, but it's still going to be specialists who work with that, whereas big data is going to be a general skill set for leaders.
Yeah. 62% agree with us. AI and big data or cloud and tech literacy?
That's a strange kind of cloud technologies are super specialized and very important for certain. Tech literacy, I thought, would be a broader category, but if this is the way it's structured, AI and big data.
AI and big data or system or platform engineering?
With the development of AI, our platform engineering will become partially automated. So AI will be the more important one here as well.
AI and big data or programming?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very aware that even though there's a lot of talk about vibe coding these days, it's not so easy still to do hard programming purely by AI. But in 2030, we will have very, very good coding AIs. So it's going to be AI and big data.
Yeah. AI and big data or sustainability ops?
Here, of course, one would wish that we would focus much more on sustainability overall. But if it's just which skills will matter for keeping you in demand, it's going to be AI and big data.
Of course, and 66% agree with us. AI and big data or design and UX?
It is actually, or I think design will only become more important as various systems become kind of second nature to us. So design and UX is not going to go anywhere, but it's still going to be a specialization. So we're going to go AI and big data again.
AI and big data or networks and Internet of Things?
There are going to be those for whom network technologies, edge intelligence, and so on will be far more important. But in general, the hard skill of people in demand is AI and big data.
Absolutely. We are winners. We are number one with AI and big data. Cybersecurity goes second. Data analysis and visualization on the third place. Design and UX then goes automation and robotics, system and platform engineering, cloud and tech literacy, networks, sustainability, and programming on the last place.
And I think that's a mistake. I think programming is going to be much more important than that. But of course, right now, people think that we'll have fully coding AIs in a couple of years. I don't think it's that easy. But hey, time will tell.
Thanks so much for your time, energy, and for your answers. Thanks so much for your insights.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.